Hey, I'm Sara Gonzales. Welcome to the News and Why It Matters Friday edition. So, Mr. Pat Gray is here again.
Yes.
Yay.
Every time you sound so excited to be here.
I am, and I am.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Stu, what's your top story?
I don't want to be, the clickbait guy. I don't want to be salacious and like overdoing it to get people eyeballs. But today I kind of have to. We're going to do cost-benefit analysis.
Oh, wow. So obviously a sexy topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so
man.
sexy.
Wow, I can't wait to get into that. Pat, what's your top
I want to
story?
talk about the early morning raid on Roger Stone today.
All right, Jason.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Roger Stone's famous for saying it's your turn in the in the barrel, and it's definitely his turn in the barrel right now.
All right, before we get into Stu's really salacious, clickbaity topic.
I mean, we can start with Roger Stone today. That's fine with me. We can do B and B. I'm fine with that.
Before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for you if you have tried a bunch of pharmaceutical drugs and you still have this ongoing pain. I know a lot of Americans are constantly in pain. I was one of them. I had a bunch of disc problems from a car accident. And Relief Factor is the only thing that has worked for me to control my pain. I tried acupuncture, I tried massage, I tried, pharmaceutical products. This is the only thing that has controlled my pain. I know for Glenn, it has worked miracles for him. And he was in a lot worse off shape than I was. So I know Jason's tried it. He was in the military and also is getting super old. So just things start to hurt. But it attacks the inflammation, which a lot of people don't realize is the main source of their pain. You can go to relieffactor.com now. Try the 3-week quick start pack for $19.95. 70% of the people who try that go on to buy it again. It's working for them. It can work for you. It's definitely worth a $19.95 investment to see if you can be out of pain. That is relieffactor.com. All right, Stu, give it to us.
I'm offering, again, we can go with the big story of the day. We can lead Roger Stone if you want. I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, let's talk about Roger Stone first.
No, this is too salacious.
Okay.
I think it's
cost-benefit
Well, here's the
analysis.
thing: is that we want to leave the viewers wanting more.
Okay.
And so with that intro, they're going to be like, "I have to keep listening. I have to keep watching for this big story." So we'll save it.
Okay, let's
come
do it.
back to it. Okay.
Roger Stone first.
Yeah, let's talk about Roger Stone. Pat, I'll let you start.
All right. Well, I was glad to see that the FBI rolled up with a brigade of assault rifle wielding soldiers, essentially.
I thought they were filming a sequel to Zero Dark 30.
I mean,
That's
so
what I
it's
thought it was.
amazing,
The movie
wasn't it? There were more guys in this raid than I think attacked Osama bin Laden's compound. And it was a good thing they came prepared, because when 66-year-old Roger Stone showed up in his jammies brandishing a shampoo bottle, that could have been a bloodbath. And I'm just thankful that it wasn't. But they bust in on him at 6 a.m., they're screaming, "FBI, open the door. FBI, open the door." Well, he's probably in a dead sleep at 6 a.m. and give him a second, maybe. I don't. I mean, I don't. He lied, right, to prosecutors supposedly, and for that offense, you show up like this. It just seems a little like overkill and quite a nice show. An anti-Trump kind of show is what it looks like to me.
It also makes you wonder why CNN was the only.
And how did they have that? Yeah.
Just randomly knew before they busted him.
Yeah,
that
pretty
They were
interesting.
going to be there.
Yeah, you didn't hear they asked him about that. Why were you there? And because I think it was a local reporter who gave it as an exclusive to CNN. But he just said reporter intuition. It was just
reporter intuition.
Reporter instinct, maybe that's the word. And it's like, really? You just thought, I'm just going to hang out at Roger Stone's house at 5 a.m. today, just see what happens. Like, maybe something will happen. Maybe a jogger will run by, or he'll get busted by the FBI. Who knows? It could be either one.
You don't know.
And that reporter intuition was later clarified as
Unusual
activity at the Justice Department.
Unusual activity.
Which immediately means Roger Stone.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Automatically means Roger Stone every time.
Like, there's some unusual activity going on here. Roger Stone, got to take a plane
Twice
to
as
his
many
house.
clerks walked into that courthouse that day. Roger Stone.
Yeah. I mean, look, Roger Stone, if you care about the truth at all, Roger Stone is not a good guy.
No,
Like, he has
right.
been a complete liar, in my opinion, for multiple decades. He's a person that I'm amazed hasn't already been in jail this whole time. He's that type of guy. And he's the type of guy that, Donald Trump should not have anywhere near him. In fact, if you remember early in the campaign, Stone was actually with the campaign, and then they separated publicly. Privately, there's a little question about how much they separated, but they've separated publicly because I think both Stone and Trump know they shouldn't be seen together if this guy's going to be president of the United States. I mean, and I know, Jason, you have the details on the actual charges, but the overall thing, I think, as far as is it relevant to the presidency, is, we talked about this at the beginning. I've had lots of issues with Trump and was not optimistic about his presidency. We've covered many times the things that have exceeded my expectations. He's done a lot of things that I did not think he would do. But one of the real problems I had with him at the beginning was the people he was surrounding with. I mean, Paul Manafort. We made a big list of this at the beginning. These people should not be anywhere near Donald Trump. And listen to the names. It's like Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Omarosa, Michael Flynn, Steve Bannon, and there's one other. Oh, Michael Cohen was the other big one. I mean, all of these people have come back to burn Donald Trump in one way or the other.
And we said a million times
way.
during the campaign, none of those people were good influences. None of those people are good advisors.
Or
none of
competent.
those people should be competent.
Yeah. None
they
of
shouldn't
them.
be around the president.
No. And so I think that lesson has long been learned by Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why these people aren't back in his orbit, largely because I think he's learned that lesson. But and he's replaced them with some of them with much better people. I think this is one of those situations where he is, I think, unquestionably in massive trouble, and he is a massive liar. And honestly, the only good thing about that is that will be his defense. Yes, these things are in text from me to the administration, but I was lying because I'm a liar. And I honestly, he'll say he's a hype man. I was trying to make myself look better. I was trying to make myself look like the guy who's in charge. I'm in touch with all the information. I've got all these secret connections. You need me. And he's going to act as if that was the real thing. Whether that's true, Jason, I mean, indications in the report kind of say that he did have more information than what he's saying now, kind of denying he was actually in the know. I mean, the documents kind of say otherwise.
Yeah, they say a lot, really, and I think this kind of signals the beginnings of the end of this investigation. I think that it is winding down now, but whichever side you're on, you're probably gonna be very, very disappointed. I think at the end of this, disappointed as in on the Trump side, how I'm about to lay this out, if it goes in this direction. Donald Trump could be in a lot of trouble here, actually, if it goes in a certain way. On the other side, this could mean, because none of the stuff in the indictment shows Russia collusion. You're going to have a hard time proving anything along those lines.
Which is kind of what they set out to do in the first place, right? And have they found, as far as we know, they've found zero collusion from anybody so far.
So the indictment, and again, it reads like stereo instructions, but it's very hard to go through these because it's legally, there's only so many things they can say as far as names. So you'll see person one, person two, organization one, all that stuff. These are the main people involved in the indictment. So there's organization one, which is WikiLeaks. There's head of organization one, which is Julian Assange. And then person one that helped out Roger Stone, that Roger Stone was in contact with, is Jerome Corsi. So this is the InfoWars reporter. He was
WorldNet Daily.
Yeah,
Birther guy, yeah.
he was helping to reach out to Julian Assange. He knew somebody in WikiLeaks, but he's kind of like almost like a secondary person in this whole thing. The main person is person two, who is Randy Credico, I believe is how you say his name. And Randy Credico is like a comedian DJ in New York, something like that. I had the hardest time just figuring out why he was relevant to WikiLeaks on this. But it sounds like, through reading the indictment, he knew the lawyer for Julian Assange. So every time Roger Stone, to make a long story short, wanted to know what was going on or if they had more information or what the content was, he would reach out to Credico, and then Credico would pass on that information to the WikiLeaks people. And he was actually getting good information. This goes into the reason why he's caught red-handed lying to this. He said he didn't have any email communications or text communications asking this information or pumping them for information. Straight up lie. The FBI Mueller has all of that. So he lied to Congress when he said he didn't communicate this stuff. Now he's also getting nailed for intimidating a witness, and that, again, intimidating Credico, because once this relationship started going south, He straight up was like, I will get my lawyers on you if you tell the truth. Do not tell the truth. Don't talk to them. And then when Credico did, it went as far as him threatening to take his dog. So he's threatening the man's dog, which should be an additional indictment on top of that, because you don't threaten a man's pet.
I've seen a picture of the dog too. It's very cute.
It's very cute.
Very fluffy.
So he's definitely going down. Another person that is in this, and this is how it connects to the Trump campaign, is the other person named is senior campaign official, which we now know is Steve Bannon. It shows like a direct communication email in the indictment, but the New York Times and other news outlets have had this a while ago, which says word for word in that email, but it has Steve Bannon in the to and from field of the email. In the indictment, it doesn't say anything. But Steve Bannon was told, hey, by Roger Stone, this is the information I got. They do have information. I think he said that it's going to be about the Clinton Foundation, and there's going to be things dropping every week going forward after the big dump. So the Trump campaign did know about it. Now the question is, this is where it could get bad for President Trump. Did Paul Manafort lie in his, like Roger Stone did? Did he lie in front of Congress and saying he talked to Roger Stone about this? Because if he did, he's probably going to prison as well. Mm-hmm. Now, do we really?
You said Manafort. You mean Bannon?
I meant Bannon.
Yeah.
Sorry. They're basically the same person. Yeah. So sorry, Bannon. So Bannon, who's in charge of the campaign at the time, did he relay that information onto the president? Now, if he did, what were the president's already delivered some written responses to questions to Mueller? Right. Was that? This seems like this is the line that Mueller's going in, to get them on. Did he lie about those conversations? Because then they're all caught in that same line. So you can see this is why I think that it's starting to end. This is where he's going. Remember, Russian collusion hasn't been verified in any of these communications. It seems like they don't know anything about Russians. It's just all about WikiLeaks. But
and WikiLeaks obviously is just a front for the Russian government at this point. I mean, I know you said
confirmed.
You said earlier that it wasn't confirmed. It was certainly highly speculated on, though. At this time.
But what I meant by that was before the FBI's indictment came down saying these are the Russians involved and this is how they got. It was very detailed. So there's like no question at all. The Russians were funneling this information at WikiLeaks.
They are a non-state. What is it? What's the term they always use? The non-state actor, foe, whatever it is. So they're known as an enemy of the state essentially, and that was before all of this happened. But Trump liked obviously what they were doing at that time. Since then, he's taken since he's been in office, he's done some stuff against WikiLeaks and Assange, and it kind of turned around on that because that relationship apparently is not so good. I don't know. Again. A lot of this is just we know Roger Stone. The idea that this is a witch hunt is not, I don't think, accurate, right? The only way it's a witch hunt is in the mind of the media, because the media only cares about Donald Trump. I think if you're just saying is this a witch hunt against Donald Trump? Well, I mean, I think at this point you still say yes, because we have no information that he did anything wrong whatsoever. However, he was surrounded by a bunch of awful people who individually should pay for the crimes that they committed. Paul Manafort did these things. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump. But that doesn't mean Paul Manafort's not a criminal. And so it's not that they haven't found anything here. They haven't found anything, though, related to, as you point out, Pat, their main stated goal. And I think if they can't find something more concrete, that's going to be, I think, a letdown for people who are looking at this and saying, was this worth it? The one thing I'll add to this, though, is just because it's not named in this particular thing against Stone or Manafort or any of these other people does not mean he can't add charges later. It's possible that you wouldn't want to put that stuff out into the public when you're still going after other people for the same types of things. You don't want to necessarily tip your hand on that part of the investigation. We can get this guy arrested right now so he doesn't flee, and we can charge him with the other stuff later. And that is a possibility, though there's no indication yet that that's going on.
I just want to send a message out to everyone that if you are a criminal, probably not a good idea to sign on to help a presidential campaign or somewhere where you're going to be in
or
the
constantly
public eye.
text about it later on.
Right. It's probably not a good idea. All right, we're going to leave everyone on the edge of their seat. When we come back, the big clickbaiting story.
Get your wine, just sit back, put your robe on, get ready. It's going to get hot.
All right, Stu, give it to us.
All right, are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
We're talking cost-benefit analysis here.
Oh my gosh, can you get prepared for something that?
No, I don't think you can. But
can't.
I'm just going to hit you with it so you're ready. Actually, what this I think tells all of us is, and the Republican Party in particular, how to talk about things. And this is actually very interesting, I think. So there's a couple things that are out. Let me give you some polling data. This is on, first of all, we'll start with climate change. These are a couple separate polls, but they all tell us the exact same thing. Is climate change happening? Well, most people say the answer to that is yes. They think 71% believe that it is happening. Now, this is a very strange second result, which is climate change caused entirely or mostly by humans? And 72% say that. So I don't know why people would believe, more people believe that it's caused by humans than it's real. So I don't know how that's a that's a thing, but that just made me laugh. So, but this is, so everyone's like, oh, it's real. That means we have to act, right? 72% of people say we have to act. It's caused by humans. We got to do something. Well, the numbers change when you give a cost. Yes, it's easy to give a benefit. A benefit analysis is just dumb. Right? You're just saying, oh, I'm getting a lot of free stuff, and of course I like free stuff. A cost-benefit analysis, when you're adding in the actual cost of what's happening, this is where things change just a tad. So for climate change, remember, 71% think it's real and it's man-made. When you say, would you pay $1 extra on your electric bill per month to fight climate change, that number drops to 57%. $1 extra. Now, we all know it would be a lot more than $1, right? So they elevated this a little more and asked again, would you pay $10 on your electric bill to fight climate change? Answer? 28%. So we are really chipping away here. Then would you pay, I think it's $75 extra, which is probably more like what it would be. That number is 15%.
Wow.
I did add this last extra one on because it's just bizarre yet again. Would you pay $100 extra on your climate bill to fight climate change? 16%. So there's 1% would say, I would pay 100, but not 75. And that is...
75 is too little.
Yeah, that's too little. I will only pay 100. Point, though, is like when you say, hey, climate change is a problem, should we do something about it? Yeah, we should. Well, it'll cost you $10. Oh, God, no. Like, that is really where the American people are, because they look at these problems and they say, everyone looks at this and say, well, of course I love the environment. I love our planet. I want things to be, better. Wait, it's going to cost, you're going to take money out of my pocket to do it? Well, of course not. The same thing is happening with now what looks like the litmus test to be a 2020 candidate for the Democratic Party, which is Medicare for all, single-payer health care. This is something that was rejected by the Bill Clinton administration. This is something that has been seen as a socialist delight for many, many years, going back even to the 60s. Ronald Reagan was preaching against this. Even go into 2013, where Bernie Sanders proposes Medicare for all in 2013 and gets 0 co-sponsors on it. Now, all of the people that are running for president support it. In fact, they're saying basically, if you're not for this, there's no way you're winning this primary. So that's where we are now. However, the American people, and you'll hear this number thrown about a lot as we get close here, the Kaiser Family Foundation, which is a big polling outfit when it comes to healthcare, and I would say friendly to things like Obamacare, not a conservative organization. They did a poll, is Medicare for all popular? Do you support Medicare for all? And that is between 42 and 56% say yes to that, depending on how you phrase it. Next, though, if it's a guarantee of health insurance as a right, this is the stuff that Democrats are really running on, right? Mm-hmm. Again, the numbers get even better. 71% say, yes, I want Medicare for all and I want it to be a right. Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. Now, these are benefit analysis. These are not cost-benefit analysis. These are benefits. Of course, it would be great if everyone had a right for health care. Let's say it all costs $0. Would we want a right for health care? Yeah, sure, why not? I guess it's great if everyone should have it. When they ask a little bit more, when it says, when they start getting into a little of the details like this one, do you support Medicare for all after learning that a government-run healthcare could lead to delays in getting care, something we absolutely know will happen? It drops to 26% support. Now, that's just one of the many downsides of Medicare for all. And the fact that it drops from 71 to 26 is a really big indication. They had another one they asked, and this one was, support after learning a government-run healthcare could lead to higher taxes. There is absolutely zero question. Even the people proposing this are saying it's going to cost you $30 trillion over 10 years. We all know it's going to increase taxes. Even if you think it's the greatest thing, that is fundamental to the actual proposal. When you say, hey, by the way, your taxes might go up a little bit, drops all the way to 37%. Combine that with the other one with slower care, you're in a very small minority of people who would agree with either one of these proposals. And that is the lesson for Republicans. You have to be able to bring this back with polling like this and show the American people that it's not about just these flowery promises. These aren't Christmas presents. When you're a kid, your Christmas present comes without cost because Santa makes it at the North Pole for free. He flies it all around with the elves and the reindeer, and it gets there at no cost to you. However, if you had to spend your own money, people might not buy the same things. It's not a Christmas present. This is a cost-benefit analysis. And people, and the American people, while they're not going to dive into a 1,000-page bill, can handle that analysis. They can handle, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, sounds like a good idea, but it's going to cost me money. That doesn't sound so good. And the politicians get away with just a benefit analysis way too much. It's Republicans' job to make this case, and of course, as usual, they are terrible at it.
And what's crazy is the most radical versions of what I've heard so far, like Ocasio-Cortez or people like that, which actually seems like the standard is going towards that radical.
Yes.
They're grouping both of those together. Like her Green New Deal is included in that is Medicare for all, which is very strange. So you would be looking at an increase of maybe $75, a month on your electric bill, plus all those downsides for, so it's not just one. It's not just those aren't taken apart; they're together. You'd be paying more literally for everything.
Every single part of it. And then I bet if you pulled that with the amount of increase on healthcare and the amount of increase on global warming together, I mean, if that cleared 10%, I'd be surprised. Even Democrats, obviously, oppose it in huge numbers when they're told what the thing costs. And I say it's Republicans' job to point it out. It is. It's really the job of journalists, though, to be able to do that very basic legwork of saying, well, yeah, there's two sides of this. Sure, we can all say what we want. Do you want a Ferrari, Pat? Well,
yes.
Of course you want a Ferrari. It's going to cost you $300,000. Do you still want the Ferrari?
Yes,
I still want it.
You just can't have it.
You can't have it, right? And we can't have these things. We can't have these things. We can't have these $30 trillion things. We're already in debt by too much. So hopefully, I know that was sexy, and I know all those graphs made people's heads spin a little bit. No, look at Sarah. I mean, I understand it, but that is an important part of the coverage. Every single time the media talks about one of these programs, that should be attached to it, so the American people can make, honestly, just a fair judgment. I'm not trying to talk them out of these programs. I am trying to talk them out of these programs. But I mean, as far as a journalist goes, they don't have to do that. They just have to at least present both sides so that people can make judgments based in some realm of reality.
They're not going to. No. They're just not going to.
Before we go, I want to thank our sponsor, Riduzone. So sorry for those of you who don't like it when I do this, but I used to be fat, and I'm not anymore. And
You're a little tough on yourself.
I lost the weight. I was pretty fat.
There's a difference. I'll say that.
Okay.
There's a difference.
I was larger than I am now, about 100 pounds. And I lost the weight. It took me 2 years, diet and exercise. And then I found it hard to maintain. And I think that that's the biggest issue that a lot of people run into. We do yo-yo dieting and fad dieting, and you end up gaining it back because maybe, you have low metabolism, or you just,
I kind of
blame food all around us.
I blame the food companies. I mean, if these restaurants were not making foods like this, that's why I'm suing. I'm starting a class action lawsuit.
Are you?
Yeah, because Taco Bell just put out their nacho cheese fries again.
How about Chick-fil-A too?
Chick-fil-A, like they should be.
Chicken too tasty.
Chicken too tasty.
Chicken too tasty.
So if you want to get control over your health, unlike these guys who don't want to take responsibility for themselves, try Riduzone. It's a capsule that contains the good molecule in olive oil that helps boost your metabolism, help you feel full. I use it. I love it. It's working for me. It can work for you. Go to riduzone.com. That's riduzone.com. Get 30% off of a 3-month supply with promo code THEBLAZE. That's riduzone.com. We'll be back in just a minute.
Download.
We've got a lot more coming up in the after show. We're going to talk about Kate Hudson, who has some parenting advice for everyone. Yeah. Very, very important parenting advice. We also have, there is an indictment on Tom Brady. I don't know if you guys have heard, by a 10-year-old boy.
He's agonizing? Is that the indictment?
Yes, actually.
Good. I support him.
It's a very impressive analysis that we've got. And Jason's got some boring stuff. I don't know. Nicholas Sandman. We've got coming up. But you can't watch it unless you have Blaze TV. If you have not already subscribed, go to blazetv.com. You can use promo code NEWS for $10 off of your annual subscription. A lot coming up and a lot of huge names that we have on the roster, and we're still adding them. You don't want to miss out. Go to blazetv.com. We are starting overtime right now.